What is up, you guys, and welcome back to Growing Upstairs. We're so glad you joined us today. Now to your hosts, Noah and Holden. What up, what up, what up?
I do the Emma.
Oh, yeah, do the Emma.
What's up?
What up, Mr. Noah? Welcome back to the podcast studio, brother.
Man, it's good to be back.
It's good to be here.
Forget what episode this is now.
Don't know.
I've lost count.
We're doing it, though, you know?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Sometime.
Someplace. Anyways, all right. Well, we're back in the podcast studio here. Glad to have you guys here with us. We've got some more guests this week as we continue on with inviting any youth that want to come on. Come on. And we've got a few more. Noah, you want to introduce them for us?
Sure. We'll start going down this way. This is Miss Keniyah.
Hello.
And she is here with her sister, Miss Kaliyah.
Hello.
And we're also glad to have Miss Olivia with us today.
Hi, guys.
We're so excited that y'all came to join us and really pumped to, get in the conversation today with our topic for the podcast, but also just to have fun and laugh with you guys as we get ready for Fuge that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Ooh, you guys excited for that?
Excited. Yes. I'm so ready.
I just don't want to pass out.
Yeah, me either.
That's the only thing that I don't want to do in this time. So anyways, let's jump right into things here. The purpose of this show every week, as we talk about, is we're growing with God together. We're doing that together and with our youth and you that are watching, you that are listening. And if they're listening or watching, Noah, where can they find us at?
Well, they can find us on Instagram. Follow us there at GrowingUpstairs. Also now on Facebook and Twitter. Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Is it Amazon as well?
I don't know. That's a good question. Never heard of an Amazon podcast, but it seems like maybe we should make one for them.
I could be wrong about that. But we are wherever you listen to podcasts, and also now on YouTube. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to it, you're probably not on YouTube, but if you're watching us, you see my face right now. We are glad to have you on YouTube checking us out. So we are enjoying every chance we get to do this, and adding this extra layer to it for this season has been really fun so far. So
yeah, absolutely. Make sure if you are watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, hit the bell too. It'll give you the notification, and subscribe to the channel. But other than that, those are all the places that you can find us, and you can reach out, write into us in whatever way that there is. But Noah, how have things been going over the last week since we last talked?
Man, things have been going. It's been really busy. I think as summer, I feel like I say that every week, but it really is. As summer's getting started, things seem to be picking up. Vacations. I did go to the beach. I don't know if we talked about that.
A little bit.
Went to the beach, had some good seafood, got off the diet a little bit for a couple days, but we won't tell anybody that. Had some.
Nobody. Yeah, don't tell nobody.
Yep, had some good seafood. It was really good, and kicked back on the beach a little bit, relaxed, and stayed under the umbrella for the most part. I don't like to get too burnt.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good weekend, though.
Mm-hmm. It was a good time.
Favorite seafood when you go to the beach?
Probably shrimp.
Mine too.
Yeah,
fried shrimp.
That's easy answer. I mean, my favorite fish is probably grouper, but
sound pretty good.
But shrimp are probably my favorite.
Shrimp, same for me. Well, ladies, how about you guys? How have y'all been doing since the last time that we all spoke? Which I guess would be last Wednesday when we had you.
Yeah. My week's been pretty good for the most part. I did have to go to a 4-H ambassador training, and then we went to the dance performance last night. But other than that, it's been pretty chill.
Pretty chill, all right. How about you, Miss Kaliyah?
My week's been good. I've been sleeping, and
Jealous.
pretty much that's it.
Get out of school and you get to rest and relax a little bit.
Yep.
Miss Olivia?
Yes, I've been very busy with two little twins, Tanner and Weston. They're so cute. I love them. And then I went to the Scotty McCreery concert. It's a tongue twister. Friday with Emma and Maddie and Emma's boyfriend DJ, who were on the podcast last week. And we're just trying to spend time with Emma as much as we can before she graduates. And yeah, that's what I've done this week.
It's crazy. They're all growing up so fast. Yep. So now that we're out of school, though, what grade is everybody moving to this next year? Or we hope so, anyways, I guess, for Miss Kaliyah.
I will be a senior.
Woo-woo. We got one senior.
I'll be a junior.
A junior.
Senior.
Look at this. We have multiple seniors.
Got a senior sandwich over there.
Yeah.
It is a senior sandwich. That's pretty good. No, a senior sandwich. Are you guys excited for
I am.
summer at least, having a little bit of a break before you get to that senior year and junior year?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of like your last summer actually being a kid for real, because next summer you have to lock in. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
it's
true.
exciting, but also scary.
This
It's
is-
your many first last.
Yes.
is
Or
like-
last first.
The-
Wrong way.
The last summer where you get to just actually kind of chill, because the
Yeah.
next summer
Yes.
you're going to be, getting everything together, loaded up and all,
Yeah.
getting ready, probably going and looking at campus a little bit. But
Yeah, enjoy this summer because, like he said, it's probably still busy. I mean, I know we've all got a lot of stuff that's going on, but it's like your first or your last true break, because once you get into college or start working or what have you, summers don't really exist in the same way, anyways. Anybody got any really big plans right here at the beginning of summer, anyways?
Oh, next Sunday I'm leaving out around like 1 to go to a summer program at Valdosta State. So I'll be there for the rest of the month of June. So.
Nice,
cool.
nice. All right.
cool.
Anybody else any big plans?
I have cheer camp, and I'm actually co-captain this year.
Oh,
so
Nice. Congrats.
hopefully I'll try out for All-American and get that. And then, Fuge.
Oh yeah, Fuge. We talked about that a little bit. Everybody's pretty excited about Fuge coming up
Yep.
Yes.
here in a little while. I don't want to harp on it too long because we talked about it a good bit last week. But if y'all have anything that you want to kind of point out about Fuge that's coming up, you feel free to right now. You got the mic.
To like when I went to Fuge, usually they place the leaders that you have like at different stations, but I got both of mine back from the previous 2 years, and they're gonna be at Union this year.
That's gonna be cool.
All right, let's go.
Oh, gosh.
Click it again.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
So all my leaders left. They went to this other camp that they're actually like starting this year. But I'm excited though for this year because we have a lot more people this year. We're taking a van, a bus, and what else?
Possibly.
Possibly a
Possibly a-
third vehicle.
Yes.
Possibly.
I'm so excited though for more people to experience Fuge because
Yeah.
it's life changing. I'm so excited.
Yes.
It's my first year, and I'm
so ready for you to come
I'm
on.
excited to get to drive one of the vans. After everybody last week started talking about passing out and whatnot, I think that's the only thing I'm excited for is I'm finna drive y'all to the thing. And then we get there, I'm going to leave y'all and let y'all do it. And I'm going to hang out at the little van that I get to drive. But anyways, so speaking of, going to Fuge and some of the things that we've got going on, what are some of y'all's favorite places to go or be?
The cafe.
The cafe. Tell me about the cafe.
I've met a lot of people in the cafe. Like, the people I met last year, I got everybody's number, and we've been talking. And they've been talking about, like, how their life has gotten better from Fuge. And I got to see them the year before. And I guess I didn't expect to see anyone before, like, this Fuge.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came back, and I guess I texted one of them, I said, meet up in the cafe if you're here. 20 people.
Oh, my goodness. That's awesome, though.
It was like my whole group except for Andrew because I don't know where he was.
Oh,
Fine.
I love worship.
Yes.
And that is my favorite place. And especially like the band last year, I loved them. And just going to the front and just like worshiping with your friends too and just seeing
Yeah.
everybody else worship, that's one of my favorite parts.
Do they have like a specific band that comes, or is it just like whoever's leading?
It's different people
Yeah.
every time. So like
really?
different
Okay.
places too.
But it's not. It's
So
just
it's the same throughout the whole entire time.
Yeah.
right. It's the same worship band for the whole week.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
But it's not
It's
like
not the same every year.
gotcha. Okay, how about you, Miss?
I think mine's is just walking around like the campus, honestly, because I've been to, this will be my third Fuge. So when I see like Kaliyah said, when I see people that I met, I'm like, oh my God, y'all are back. Like, it's just really amazing. So yeah.
It's crazy how much in 1 year, really even just a summer, how fast and how much people grow up,
Yeah.
like in that little amount of time too.
Yes.
Yes, what's crazy is so on the Bible app we did like a plan together and so now we're all like a community, I guess.
Yeah.
And so they see, like, they still like Bible verses that I highlight, and, like, I'll go highlight theirs. And so, like, you can just see kind of their progress as they
Yeah,
go.
that's
Yeah.
pretty cool there. Y'all have built a nice, tight-knit community
Yeah.
with everybody there too. So we're all excited for that. That's coming up here later on in the summertime, and you guys get to see some of your friends again. I have a friend, no joke, from the time we were freshmen in high school and we came back our sophomore year. He lost like 150 pounds through 3 months of being out of school. So when we came back to school, we all saw him and we were like, who is this guy? And I looked and I was like, oh my goodness, dude. He completely transformed. And that's what I'm trying to do between now and Fuge. So it's not working real good right now after that blizzard that we had at Dairy Queen. But we ain't
start
gonna
off
talk
on
about
Monday.
that.
You start back on Monday.
I like Olivia's thinking of here. We're going to start back on that on Monday. And then the next week, we're going to start back again on Monday. But anyway, so how long does it take to get to Fuge? You know, do you know how long it takes to get up there? I know the first half we drive to like Birmingham and then drive from Birmingham up to Union, right?
I'll tell you an exact.
Oh, we're going right off
Official.
of the thing right here.
It is 7 hours and 45 minutes, but that's
Straight there.
Yeah,
That's the trip that we're going to make that Sunday when we're done, though, is driving from there.
Saturday,
yeah, driving straight from there all the way back.
it's long. That's a long day.
Yes.
Yes, it
And we
is.
do worship that morning too, so we get on the road around 9:30 or 10.
Yes.
Woo!
Jack and Reed's rap sessions keep you awake.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing, getting to see who rides with me and Noah.
The cool
Going up and
bus,
back.
cool van.
Cool bus, and if you ain't on our bus, that's okay. But anyways, that's okay. So speaking of something that takes that long like that, do you guys like long road trips like that?
No, I
No.
don't. Honestly, there's another trip we take at Stream. It's like 10 hours, I think.
Good night. Where's
It's
it?
a long
Where's
time.
Extreme
Gatlinburg.
at?
It's
It's
Gatlinburg.
like,
Oh, okay.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and it's like, it's so long. I'm glad we take like stops and stuff, but
Especially going around the mountain.
yes, the
It's
mountain
like
part.
sickening.
She'll be
That's
coming
like-
around the mountain when she comes.
Honestly, going around a mountain takes the longest part. Like, it's like you're just seeing mountains, and like, when are we ever gonna get?
But
there?
it's so beautiful up
Yes.
there too, though.
Yes, and then like I remember one time, like my first time going to Extreme, we were like 2 miles away, and it said we was gonna get there in like 20 minutes.
Oh my!
It ended up taking us like a whole hour.
Oh
Dang.
man!
Like,
yeah.
because that's around Christmas time, and a lot of people spend Christmas up in Gatlinburg. So,
Have you ever been up there when it snowed?
Yes.
oh yes,
we
did.
did.
It was flurrying at first, and then we got the actual snow.
And it was like build up snow. That was the first time I've ever
Yes.
seen build up snow.
I've always
It was
wanted to
so
see a bunch of
crazy.
snow like that where I can make a snowman.
People knew we were from South Georgia.
yes, because we were acting a fool. We had to stop and everything and take pictures.
We were at the gas station and everybody was just throwing snowballs at each other. It was so funny, and everybody was looking at us like we were crazy.
The locals roll up. They're like, they ain't from here.
Just see a First Baptist Church bus pull up, and people are just get off throwing snowballs at each other.
Oh, anyway, I love road trips as long as I'm driving. I don't want to ride.
Yeah,
a
I feel
long
like
road
it'd probably
trip.
be better if you were driving, but like just sitting there the whole time is crazy.
Yeah.
I like to drive on the interstate.
Oh, me too. Like again, that's why I'm glad that I'm getting to drive to this, because sitting there for 7 hours, I'd be like this. Somebody let me drive, please.
You'd be like, dang.
Dang. That's pretty good right there. All right, let's get to a starting topic as we kind of jump into things here real quick. Let's talk about friendships in Christ. Last week we talked a little bit about community and how community can allow you to live out your faith. But I want to talk about friendships in Christ. I think, Olivia, you might have been the one that kind of wrote in on this. So just talk about it in whatever way that you want to, whatever kind of comes to your mind, and we'll go from there.
So I feel like the first thing I was thinking about is like having that community that you can go to, like, and that accountability partner, and also like surrounding yourself with the crowd, like with who is going closer to Christ and who is fully in their faith. And I know Keniyah and I always keep up with each other and send each other Bible verses and stuff, and our daily plans that we do throughout the day usually. And it's just so important to surround yourself with people of faith and Christians, because it's will help you further your walk with the Lord, and it will also benefit you in your race to get farther in life.
Yeah.
And it also, like, you're so much happier with the people who you can tell, like, have that faith base and that foundation. Like, it's crazy to see, like, the impact that they can have on your life and the impact you can have on the other person.
Yeah, and I think like even with like coming to the youth group, like if we do stuff that like I've never done before, I'm literally just happy to be there because
Yeah.
like I'm around people that love me and I love them, and we all like have some of the similar same interests, and like we're always laughing at something. So.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You talk about like how y'all have a plan. And I know you talked earlier about like on the Bible app with your friends and stuff from Fuge, y'all highlight each other. Is that what you said? Y'all are like their scripture or whatever they put up. That's what you do.
Yes.
So how do you in having this friendships in Christ like this, how do you have a plan with each other? Like how does that work for y'all? Do y'all have like y'all just text back and forth and say, hey,
Yeah.
this is where I'm reading this week. You know, you want to read along with me and just kind of ask questions. How do y'all do that?
Well, usually we'll just like send each other the chapter we did for the night, or if we're doing like a plan, or just send each other encouragement, because you obviously need that throughout the day. And so usually Keniyah or me will send like a morning plan that we did and then a night plan that we did,
Yeah.
and just asking how each other's day has been.
Yeah. And also like if I know Olivia's doing something, like I know she did a Bible study at school like on every Fridays, I would just like send her a message like praying for you, hope everything goes great and stuff like that. So
Yes, and that really helps too, because like somebody's praying for you and actually like caring what you're feeling and what you're doing, and it really shows it has an impact on like how you go about the day, and like knowing somebody's there for you and caring for you in a Christ-like manner, and it just makes everything better. And it also lets you know that you have someone to confide in that you can trust,
yeah.
who will be there for you when you need it.
It's so helpful to have somebody there. And I'm glad that you guys have built that friendship and that y'all have been able to be kind of accountability partners in that way as well, to be able to lift each other up, because that's what we need today. I mean, my goodness, as crazy as this world has kind of gotten, we need that person that's going to be like, hey, Noah, what you reading today, man? What you into, you know? And Noah and I have done that in the past. I think I haven't been quite as good about it here lately, but it's crazy. Like, y'all ever miss like a week and it's like, man, it takes a little while to kind of get back on track. Y'all are probably like, no, I every
No,
day
yes,
I'm
definitely.
on this. I got this.
No, we
Because-
definitely.
Yeah, like sometimes Olivia send me something, I'm like, dang, I really did not read today.
Yeah.
So let
Yeah,
me get on
yeah.
it.
And that's the best thing too, because it like keeps you on track. You're
Yeah.
not just doing it by yourself. You're doing it with somebody else who can keep you accountable. But it also, like, if I have a lesson plan, I learn from that, and then also she'll send me
Yeah.
one, and then I'll learn from that too. So really, it's a win-win. You learn more
Yeah.
through doing that with somebody else.
Like I think it was your first time doing a Bible study. I had studied Romans, and she was actually teaching out of Romans. So
How about that?
yeah.
Yeah, and it gave me more insight too to share at that Bible study.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Even this morning in Sunday school, we had a lesson that we were going through, and this may happen with y'all too, and let us know if it does. But when you read through something, do you guys kind of talk back and forth, and then one of you might say something that's like, "Oh, I never even realized that this is
Yeah.
what it's saying," or "I never had that thought about that,"
Yeah.
because that same thing happened to me in Sunday school this morning. I was like, we've gone through like 5 or 6 verses. And I never would have dove as deep as we did in Sunday school in these verses as we did. And I wonder if that's kind of the same way when y'all are going through something.
Yes, it's crazy to see like the different thought processes, and
Yeah.
so it shows you like a different way of thinking and how somebody else interpreted this verse, and it can help you along the way too to have different perspectives.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Even if it's just like, oh wow, that's so good. Like I never really noticed that. Like it really makes a difference in how you understand the Bible and what you're reading. So
This is going to tie in perfectly when we get to the raise the meter here in just a little while. So hang on to all of this. But Noah, I think again we've kind of been that same way where we go back and forth. And like I said, I've kind of got to get back on track and be like, Noah,
Myself too.
what are we reading about? One thing that has blown my mind this year is I never realized how much a small, again, just a few verses in a Bible, how much time can pass in those verses. Like we've been reading through Acts in our Sunday school class, and there are times where we'll read 3 or 4 verses, and in it, a year and a half real time has passed in a short span, and I'm like, my goodness, how fast! Like there's so much that's happening in between it, but not everything has been written about. Like, okay, well, we're doing this, that, or the other in between, but the parts that you need to know about, that's what we wrote about in this tiny little part of the scripture, and you're like, oh, that's cool. 30 years went by in that little amount of time, though.
Yeah.
But that's just something that's kind of blown my mind
No,
in the time, though.
Yeah, something I was thinking about is like also when you're reading it, like going on a daily plan and stuff like that, like some days you're just gonna be like, oh my gosh, like I need to read my Bible, but I just don't have the motivation. Do it, because even if you don't have the motivation, because some days you're not. Like, let's be honest, everybody has those days that they're just like, oh my gosh, I want to go to bed, or I need to do this before I need to do that. It's more important, but it's not. Like, having that, like, willpower to get up and still do it and persevere through it, you'll thank yourself in the end, because that allows you to further your faith and also just have the will to learn God's word.
Yeah, and I think what another thing is, like, as a Christian, we definitely have to be disciplined, especially in today's society. And, like Olivia said, like, you may not feel like you have enough time to read your Bible, but I promise you, after you read it, you're never going to be like, I'm just like, why did I just read that? Like, you're going to be like, I should have just done what I should have did and read the Bible another day. No, you're always going to be thankful that you disciplined yourself and stuck to what you're supposed to be doing, which was reading the Bible.
Yep, it will never return void.
Yeah.
I always say.
It's such a hard thing, is those days when you're just like, man, I just don't.
Olivia says, just do it.
Just do it. Tell them how to do it, Lou. Just do it. Anyway, Noah, you got a random minute that we can jump into before we move forward?
I think so.
You do? All right, let's do it. Hit us with that random minute.
Welcome to Noah's Random Minute, where Noah tells you random facts that you did not know you needed to know. Are you guys excited?
I'm excited. I'm ready.
I've got some super random ones today. I'm excited about this.
Let's go.
All right. Did you know that my phone battery is 87% right now?
More than mine, I'm sure.
I
didn't
you.
charge mine last night.
Mine's is 83. That's
Mine's
crazy.
on 96.
I don't know what mine is on right now because it is our camera at the moment.
What's your iPad at?
76%. That's also because we were playing music. Let me tell you, this morning, I forgot to talk about this morning, was a whole nother level of behind. I woke up, my phone updated middle of the night, decided to quit charging entirely and not turn my alarm on this morning. So when I woke up, I'm supposed to be here at 9 o'clock, right? Right? Okay. Set my alarm for 7 o'clock. Guess what time I woke up?
9:30.
8:20.
Oh.
I had me and a 6-year-old to get ready, a dog to take out. Got to go feed some horses and some other dogs and everything. I'm taking off running. But anyway, so yeah, my battery's on 76%, Noah, but yours is on 87%. Huh?
Yep.
All right.
That's right.
So you're saying you don't need to get to the charger right now?
No, not right now.
Okay. Anyway, didn't know I needed to know that, but now we do.
Yep. Another thing you did not know that you needed to know. Did you know that on today's date, in 1935, Babe Ruth retired from baseball?
Dang.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So the year was 1935.
That sounds just like a baseball announcer back then.
Last night, I'm sitting there talking to Hudson, and I'm reading. I don't remember what I was reading to him, but I'm reading in a voice like this.
The Michael Caine voice.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Anyway, so I'm reading in this random voice like that, and he looks at me and goes, "Why are you doing that?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to tell you a story." He goes, "Stop."
It's like
talk normal.
That's like the episode of Andy Griffith where Barney and Gomer, I think it is, they're trying to do something, sell something, some salve or something. And Barney's like, "My name's O.P. Taylor Sr." And Gomer looks at him and he's like, "How you do your voice like that?"
Do y'all ever do that where you start talking like in a British accent, something, and then next thing you know, you can't get it out of your head. You just keep talking that way for no reason.
I do that all the time with my friends. They get so mad at me.
People usually don't get mad at me, but we sit at Dairy Queen and they go, "Where do these thoughts come from?" They just. What'd you say earlier, Keniyah? You were like, you have a thought that hits your brain.
You just say the thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah, and it's so I
It's
don't see how it
entertaining.
comes to your mind.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like I would have never thought of that.
Don't worry. I'm sitting here the same thing. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
And sometimes it's like so random. It's like you never know how it's going to end, but you always pull it back into it.
You do. You always have a point.
Sometimes, maybe one week we need to let Holden do the random minute.
That'll be more than a minute. I promise you.
Guarantee you it's going to be more than a minute. Holden's random 36 minutes. Here we go.
All right, here we go. Here's fact number 3.
Number 3.
This one's pretty good. Did you know that the longest word in any of the major English language dictionaries is 45 letters long?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I was
No.
thinking the same thing.
I'm
especially
gonna
right.
attempt to pronounce it.
Oh boy, here we
And
go.
then I want you guys to guess what it is.
All right.
Okay. Pneumon ultra microscopic silicovolcanosis.
I remember that from like Aquila and the Bee. I don't know what it was called though.
I don't know.
What did you say?
I said pneumo ultra microscopic silicovolcanosis.
And do you know that there's a doctor out there right now that's going, yeah, blah, 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 and just spits it out. It's like, that's what's wrong with
Would
you.
you like to attempt to pronounce it?
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Well,
Can I look up what it actually means?
It says under it what it means.
Micro means small, so that's all I got from it.
Give it a shot.
A word that refers to a lung disease. All right.
Yeah, I was about to say, I heard pneumonia in there. Like,
Yeah, so that's the start. Pneumonia, ultramicromolecular volcano. There you go. Is the last part of that really volcano or something like that?
Yeah, it says it's a lung disease contracted from the inhalation of very fine particles, specifically from a volcano.
oh.
Oh.
That's an original
So I
word.
guess, yeah.
So pneumonia of a volcano. They couldn't have just been like pneumonia volcano or something like that. Volcanic pneumonia.
Nope, we got the longest word in the English dictionary for that.
45 letters for a word.
Yep.
I'm like Olivia. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. How do you spell that? How many letters is that? That's got to be pretty close.
I don't know.
Hold up.
Oh, Kaliyah got it. You can Google. You're good. It's free on here.
I was just thinking of how Noah sings, just super
It's supposed to be like
32.
32.
Oh, for that song this morning.
Yeah.
What was that song, Noah?
That's my king.
That's my supercalifragilistic.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
That's it, yeah. And then I had some other words. I'm wearing the same pants. Anyways.
Anywho,
It's 34.
Oh.
34 letters.
Holy cow. I would have thought that had a lot more letters in it than that, too.
Dang.
can't beat pneumonia volcano. That sounds like a movie. It sounds like Sharknado.
I was just about to say Sharknado 4.
Volcano pneumonia 5.
We need to be careful, man. It's gonna be the next disease that goes around that everybody stays in their house for 6 months.
We're going to be the ones who started it.
Y'all know that Growing Upstairs podcast? They did this to us. Dang.
Dang. Well, that was fun random minute.
That's Noah's Random Minute. Woo-woo. That's a bunch of random noises. All right. So we got one more thing before we get to the raise the meter right here. And I asked this last week because you guys may have had some stories. It's been a while since we've been back on here. Y'all have gone to Extreme. None of y'all went to Passion, I don't think. But Passion is coming up again. We'll talk about that some other time. But you guys have been on Extreme. Have there been any kind of crazy, fun, awesome stories that you guys have had that have come up since the last time either we came on the podcast or that you can think of? I mean, we've had D Now. We've had Extreme, back in Extreme. End of school. There's been a lot that's been going on here over the past
I don't
few
know
months.
if this has been set yet, but I know Carly, I didn't go to Extreme this year, but Carly got to rap with one of the rappers, Andy Mineo. Like, he came down from
yeah.
the crowd.
Oh my gosh, you stole mine.
Yes.
That was what y'all were going to talk about?
Oh, really, Olivia?
Yeah. It's okay. That can be both of ours.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay, I don't guess that was it. Didn't we talk about that last week? Can you fast rap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so that was the only story that y'all could think of between now and then.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But
Go
me,
ahead.
and my friends, we always get those big milkshakes every year. And this time, I got the cookie dough one. It was really good.
You talking about at Extreme?
Yeah.
Is that a Dollywood?
No, it's the mason jar. It's like on the strip.
Oh,
really
in
good.
Gatlinburg?
Yes.
That sounds good.
They're just big.
Yeah, it was so big. I couldn't finish mine. I think I threw mine
There's
away.
like stuff coming out of it too. It's
Yes.
Is that the place where they do like the milkshake and then it's got like a straw with an Oreo stuck on it?
yes.
Okay, cool.
I can never finish mine.
Everybody's here talking about extreme, but I haven't been to the last two.
Don't worry, I can't go to extreme.
Hey.
We're always working in the winter.
Be thankful. The last one we got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
All of us did.
Wait. The recent one?
No, not not the last one. The year
first,
before that.
Yeah, the first one that we went, we got COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
I remember
Well, the new
first
thing
one.
now is all about the Numovo volcano thingy.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get next time you get.
No, please.
I
What were you
remember
gonna
the
say?
first one. I think we were coming out of the Dollywood performance thing, and Hunter was outside. Was it the bubbles?
Yeah, it was like the bubbles and stuff. And like you said, COVID was going around already, but that might have just like triggered his allergies. So like when the bubbles came down, like his nose like got red and stuff. Like
No, his whole face got
yeah,
red.
so we had to get him medicine.
Oh my gosh.
Was he having like an allergic reaction or
I don't
something?
think so. I think it was just his allergies was messing up.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
I did pass out at Fuge. I mean,
Oh Lord.
Lori
I think I
helped
did
me, though.
too.
Lori helped me. I was in the building. I almost collapsed, but I collapsed on her.
All right, so Noah's not in the room right now. I need y'all to tell me tell me more about this Fuge thing.
No.
I'm about to mute his mic.
It was okay. I was fine though. It wasn't terrible.
Fuge is exciting though.
But why did you almost pass out? Wait, why did you pass out?
I really don't remember. I was either hot, dehydrated, or one of the two, or both. Probably both.
You-
I'm buying that helmet. It's got water bottles all over it so I can keep drinking the entire time.
I've never seen a leader pass out like a youth leader.
Yeah.
It's only been kids, honestly.
I
You'll
think,
be the first.
I think Abram. He was
Oh, yeah.
he threw up.
No, but my past leader, Kara, her brother, Dean was there last year. He's moved to a different camp this time, but he was there last year, and he was like crawling all around like the little mosh pit that we go in. It's like a little circle around the mic pit area. And like I think he got a little bit too high, so he had to like sit back a little bit.
I'm asking you again, what are we signing up for? What are we going to?
I
Look,
think
I promise you, I wouldn't be going back for a third time if it wasn't that good.
Yeah, honestly.
My problem is,
Because 3 people in my group passed out. Like on the
it was
Yeah.
5 people in my group,
like, on
and
the
I think
floor
I got
couch.
hit by a flag.
But it's amazing though. You're just in the moment.
yeah, it's amazing. I'm finna fall out, throw up, and get knocked out by a flag all at the same time.
You're worshiping
Hey,
God
hey.
at the same time. So it makes
Didn't
it
you
amazing.
listen?
Praise the Lord.
Didn't you listen to the pastor this morning? There's gonna be suffering sometimes, man.
We have to persevere. That's what we learned in Sunday school this
Exactly.
morning.
I'm finna just drive my van and be quiet. She said, I don't think a leader's ever passed out. I'm finna be the first. I don't do things a little bit like when we start doing something, if somebody's like, hey, you want to play dodgeball? I'm be like, yeah. And I finna full-fledged play dodgeball.
Well, just make sure you're drinking the same amount of water we need to then if you're going to
Yes.
play like that.
I remember the dodgeball game that we played at Fuge.
Last year we played ships and sailors. Or
I'm
whatever.
always out first, but hey, you
Yeah,
can
me
prep
too.
before the week and just drink water the whole
Yeah.
time. So maybe your body will be.
Hey, well, I can see it now. We're 5 minutes out of Camilla. Got to stop at the bathroom real quick. Hang on a second. I've drank too much water already. That's the part I fear.
Hey,
It's
we
like I'm
take-
always have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we take multiple stops, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
So when y'all are, where y'all are hanging out doing whatever, Rick, it doesn't matter. Are y'all pretty close to like stuff, or is it like
yeah, like they scratch drinking water so much. Like everywhere we go, there's pretty much like a
water jug
a
fest.
water cooler thingy.
so you're never far from?
Mm-mm.
No.
Because people,
Savior.
I'm sorry to say this, but people pass out a lot. And
I've
it's
never been
frequently-
to. Yeah, I've never been doing that. Somebody
Yeah.
had passed
But
out.
it's mainly because they don't drink enough
Yeah,
water.
they don't drink water. And it's like 90, 80 degrees. Honestly, last year when
She said 90, 80 degrees. Most people say 80 to 90, but anyways, you go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, it's more like 90 degrees. But like I was saying, what was I saying? I don't even know.
Holden, you finna pass out?
Don't pass out, Holden.
I think
I read
We'll
it
catch
recently.
you. We'll catch you.
Yeah.
I don't know
You'll
about
be
that.
I don't think they're gonna catch me.
I'll catch you,
I
buddy.
won't.
Oh,
My brother.
I'm just gonna be walking behind Holden like this all week, like
Noah,
fall.
Noah catch me.
don't fall.
That just reminds me of the thing where you drop them and say, "Don't trust men, trust
Did y'all,
God."
have y'all seen the Fuge?
yes,
They've already
I
done the
have.
video of
I
the
did.
fall, and she just let them fall.
Yeah.
No, I think that girl actually passed out.
No, that was my leader. Those
I'm
are
just
my
kidding, I'm
two. Those
kidding.
are my two leaders. The MC for this year, her name was Kara. That was my first leader for Fuge, and then the second one, the girl that failed, that was my leader from last year.
Did y'all notice on that video where you could see the person's hands come in?
At the very last second, I see look at Noah over here. Catch him like that. I was
That's
like,
cool.
there's somebody
I didn't
catching
realize that was both of them in the same video. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Except for if that was me, I'd really be laying on the ground. So, anyways, you guys got any other stories before we raise the meter real quick?
Whoa.
In sync.
So I don't think I should talk about this because you keep asking about what's gonna
boy.
happen at Mega Relay.
Oh,
But
yeah, we can't tell them.
I'm not gonna tell
can't
like
tell 'em.
specifically. But when me and Andrew, I think this was my first year going to Fuge. Me and Andrew, I was fighting with him because he wouldn't move out the way when I was trying to do
Get out of the way, Andrew.
the
No.
specific
I'm trying to pass
activity.
out.
And I got so mad. So I ran past him and he fell. And I looked back. He was eating the grass.
No,
He was-
it
what?
gets crazy.
He was eating the grass.
It looked like it. Looked like it.
Poor Andrew.
Oh, poor Andrew. It's funny.
Just don't pass out. I'm trying to tell you. No, you got anything else?
No, man, I'll be ready to catch you though.
Are you saying you'll be my friend?
Yeah, I'm already your friend, man.
I'll be there. Sorry, now I got the
Lean
giggles.
on me.
Lean on me. One more time, no, hit him.
Lean on me.
I will definitely do that if I got to. I don't
No.
know, dude.
We need to record a video of Holden just falling and everyone catching him.
That could be
That's
the
a great
slideshow.
idea. This is a good idea, guys. I definitely think we're gonna have to tag Fuge in this one and be like, Fuge, y'all got to listen to this. Somebody finna pass out. Why though? Why? I just.
Why?
I think I'd have rather y'all not told me that somebody's gonna pass out
It's okay.
and just be like, everything's great. So that way, when I get there, it's like, doop, 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 doop. Why is everybody falling out here? Anyways, I'll just drink a bunch of water.
Yeah, you'll be good.
We're gonna be good.
Well, we live in South Georgia anyway, so it's like hot all the
yeah,
time.
you're pretty much used to it.
That is true. I should be. I mean, I work outside.
Yep.
But when it gets really hot, I go inside.
What I was not used to
We
was
get to do that though as leaders.
Get to go to Barefoot's
Go
Joe.
to Barefoot's
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
See, like the leaders, they're in. Now I don't know what y'all do, but I'm pretty much y'all are like inside most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you can find me. Not passing out. All right. You guys ready to raise the meter?
Yes.
Let's do it.
We fixing to raise the. We fixing to raise the.
Yo.
Meter. We fixing to raise the meter.
Me and Noah have determined dance skills on a level of 0 to 10.
0.
That's where we live. At least y'all dance with us. We greatly appreciate you guys dancing with us today. All right. The topic for raising the meter. Noah's going to break out the Bible for us today. We're going to be reading a little bit in Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 and 70, if you'll want to flip there. But today we're going to be talking about peer pressure. You guys down to talk about some peer pressure?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start us off with a couple of questions that I'm going to ask you guys. What is the number one influence in the life of the average person that's y'all's age today? Can you think of like what the number one influence in y'all's life is today?
Social media. for
Social
sure.
media,
I would say like friends.
friends and social media. Noah, do you kind of agree with them on that?
I would think so.
We're a little bit older, but I think I kind of agree with that. I think social media probably has one of the largest influences on our generation, for sure. Next question. Is that influence mainly positive or is it mainly negative?
Negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
It's just, it depends on who you surround yourself with or, like, what your social media contains. But, like, most of the time, like, it has a negative effect.
Yep. You go on Facebook and you read comments, and it can be one of the best things that could be going on in the world, and somehow there's somebody there that's going to make it negative.
Yeah.
It always seems to come back to that. All right. Go ahead.
You just have to learn how to, like, turn it around, like, fill your feed, I guess you'd say, with, like, godly messages and stuff like that.
Yep.
And even like on social media, like you can try to follow like every Christian influencer there is, but like there will always be something negative. And I'm like, Instagram now, I don't, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Or, like, you'll be reading or, like, or going through TikTok, and, like, you'll have this Christian TikTok, and there's one TikTok also just, like, really? Like,
Yeah.
like, it's always something. Like,
A lot of times it's the comment section.
Yeah,
that is
no, the
true,
comment
too.
section is
The
what
comment
makes
section
it worse.
is terrible.
Mhm.
But I feel like my whole FYP is just bad TikToks, and then I only get one good one.
We're going to have to turn that around, Kaliyah. God, turn it around. Anyway.
Jesus, take the wheel. Anywho.
Lean on. All right, anyways, a couple more questions here. On a scale of 1 to 10, how influenced by your friends do you guys think that y'all are?
9.
9. Very influenced.
I mean, it definitely has a big impact who you surround yourself with, especially, like, if you spend a longer time, like, you realize, oh, my gosh, like, I'm having the same characteristics as them. Like, you don't realize it at the time how much they're influencing you, but you realize the impact later.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
Probably 8 or 9.
Probably 8 or 9, so pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say about an 8.
About an 8.
Yeah.
No, you got a number
I'd
that you
say
put on that?
about same place, yeah.
About an 8 or 10. Yeah,
Mhm.
right there about that. So last question. Why do you think that we all want to just fit in? That's a pretty tough one.
Because I feel like I've never fit in. So when I see other people like in a certain group, I want to be like them, but I can't be like them. So I try my hardest to fit in, but it still doesn't like make me feel good because I'm not being myself.
Yeah, I feel like the world kind of programs you to want to fit in, want to be that person, like the social media, internet, like you want to be that person who fits in, goes to the parties, like has that following on social media, like you want to be that person. But in God's eyes, like, yes, you can have friends, like you can be that, but you need to have a godly influence on people and have that like godly outward appearance so others can see it on you. And then you can make friends along the way with
Yeah.
that and share with others your story and your faith and maybe influence others.
Yeah. For me, I think like people just don't want to be lonely. Like no matter how much social media tries to play down, like you don't need anybody. Everybody needs somebody. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's like a lot of the reason. Like people just want to be friends with people. They just want to be accepted, and they feel like they have to do what the person they're trying to be accepted by doing to be able to call them a friend. Or
Yes, at Fuge, we talked about, like, you can't run this race alone. Like, faith, yes, you need to have a one-on-one relationship with the Lord, but you also need to have those accountability partners, those friends that can run this race with you to help you through your hard times, because they might be in a good place then and you're not, but it might be flipped the next situation, and they're helping you out of this situation. So it's good to have people to, like, lean back on and to help you go through your walk with the Lord.
Yeah, that's so good. I can remember being in high school, and there were a lot of times where I would try to do that. I wanted to fit in with the crowd. I wanted to fit in with the cool kids, or what was going on here. You wanted to go to the parties and do all the things. And you guys can probably attest to this even today. I've realized I don't really fit in with a lot, because what comes to my brain comes out most of the time. And a lot of times that you don't necessarily fit into like a specific group when you're like that. But going your own way, trailing your own path, not just following the crowd. A lot of times, especially when we're trying to follow Jesus, is the only way that you can do that, because fitting in doesn't always work. Following the crowd, it might be easy, but it's not always the right way to go.
Yeah, it's like the verse that talks about narrow is the
Narrow is the way.
yeah. But wide are the gates of destruction or something like that.
I don't know exactly where.
I don't know
it's
the
from,
exact
but-
wording, but
Yeah.
narrow. Like
I
you
have
were saying.
definitely heard the narrow is the gate,
Mhm.
narrow is the way. Oh Lord, now I lost it.
But basically, following the crowd, that road is going to be a little bit more full, because like we've been talking about, in today's culture, so many people do get wrapped up in following the crowd, and when you're different, or when you take a stand for Christ and all, that road might be a little bit slimmer.
Yeah.
You might just have one close person with you, that accountability partner or whatnot on the way, and sometimes it may feel like you're all on your own.
Yeah.
But we know that the Lord walks with us.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Olivia.
Sorry, I always think of that verse like bad company corrupts good behavior, and it's like,
Good behavior.
or yeah, and it's, I think it's 1 Corinthians 15:33,
Oh,
and
okay.
it says that.
Scripture.
But I always look back to that verse, like, because I know I want to fit in, I want to be in that group, but it's always, you need to stand out for the Lord. Like, if they're not leading you to the Lord, then you need to take a step back.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Peter's story and Peter denying Jesus. And you guys have probably heard this story, but we're going to go through it a little bit. But pressure from our peers can cause stress and anxiety. I think we would all kind of agree when you have peers, especially when it's friends that you look up to, whether they're in the youth group or just at your school or something. There's a lot of times that we look up to those people and we'll have kind of pressure that we feel from those people. And Noah, like I said, he's going to have it pulled up for us here in just a second, that we're going to read through. But sometimes this stress and anxiety from the peers that we get, it makes us wonder, are we even doing the right thing at all? You guys ever feel that way where you're like, man, am I doing the right thing? If all these people are telling me I should be doing this and joining in with them and the crowd and what's going on with them, am I doing the right thing? You ever have kind of that feeling where you wonder, am I right?
Yeah. And even I would say even watching Christians on TikTok, like you can see these people like on the street preaching, like somebody's getting saved every day. I'm like, I haven't really saved anybody yet.
Yeah.
It's like, am I going hard enough? Like, am I really like doing what I'm supposed to do? But then you have to like come back to like realization that everybody's walk's not gonna be the same, and you never know what that person's spiritual gift is. So just have to kind of like reassure yourself in Christ.
Yeah. So today, like I said, we're gonna look at this story here in just a minute about how Peter was kind of pressured in a situation where he did something that he really regretted. Have you guys ever had a situation that came up where you had so much peer pressure on you that you did something that you regretted? I'm not telling you to admit anything on this podcast right here, so you don't have to. But if you just say, yeah, I mean, I've been through that, or I've seen this situation before. You'll kind of be able to understand and connect with that. So, Noah, if you will you read Matthew 26, verse 69 through just 69 to 70 to kind of start for us?
Okay. Sure thing. It says, "Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him. 'You also were there with Jesus of Galilee,' she said. But he denied it before them all. 'I don't know what you are talking about,' he said."
So in this, Peter had already been following Jesus for, what did they say, about 3 years, I think it was, something like that. It might not say it in there, but I know that I believe he had been believing in Jesus, following Jesus, even being close with him. And back in verse 35, he promised Jesus that I would not deny you. And I think all the disciples that were with him agreed with him. And he even went as far to say that I will not deny you. I'd rather die with you than I would deny you. And then as we fast forward to these verses that he just read there at the start, he's immediately already doing that. The one thing he said, I'm not going to do, was somebody's pressuring him at this gate. And he's like, man, I don't know. What was it that I said? I don't know who Jesus is, or I don't know this man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So immediately he's brought with this. He knows it's like, all right, these people want to kill Jesus. He knows that now Jesus is being arrested and that they're coming for him. Well, in knowing that, he's probably pretty terrified, going, whoa, they're after him. Now, if I'm associated with them, that means they're going to come after me, right? So all of a sudden this pressure starts coming on him, and he's like, whoa, I don't know this guy. I don't know what you're talking about. So the pressure is immediately already jumping onto him. Let's go ahead and read 71 through 75, if you will, Noah.
Okay. Then he went out to the gateway, where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, 'This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth.' He denied it again with an oath, 'I don't know the man.' After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, 'Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away.' Then he began to call down curses and swore to them, 'I do not know the man.' Immediately the rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the words Jesus had spoken. Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly.
So in just that small, we talked about this earlier, just a small amount of verses, how much has happened just in this time? 3 times. We go all the way back to, again, verse 35, where he told him, I would never deny you. And Jesus told him, you're going to deny me, or someone's going to deny me 3 times. As the rooster crows, this is going to happen. And what happens? Lo and behold, Peter, that exact same thing happens. Why do you think it is that Peter, why do you think that he did this after just before this? And I think it wasn't it just the day before that they were all together, the disciples and Peter and everybody, and a day later they arrest Jesus, and he's already being pressured by other people saying, hey, you know who this guy is. Why do you think it is that he just denied him, just flat out, has been following him for 3 years now, has believed in him, has been right there next to him? Why do you guys think it is that he all of a sudden backed off and did deny him after he just told him that he wouldn't?
I think, like, what pops into my mind is, like we were just talking about, you never want to just be the oddball, like, in the group. You always just want to, like, find that one person you can at least connect with. So I think with Peter, he was just, like, he didn't have Jesus with him at the time. Like, Jesus had already gone and was already struggling and doing all that. But I guess since he, like, felt alone, he just, like, kind of denied it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all the pressure, too, like we were saying, like, the pressure on him, like, caused him to do that. Like, it's, like, when we're put in those situations, it's like, do you choose your faith who you've been committed to this whole time, or do you just stay with the crowd? And we have to be strong enough in our faith to say who Christ is and say that we know him and truly believe in him.
Yeah, and then another thing is, it's easier to, like, disciple somebody when, like, you know, like, somebody next to you is also a Christian. It's easier to speak about God in a room, but when it's, like, a room full of people who don't believe in God, it's like, well, it's easier for you to just be quiet and just, like, just sit back and not say anything.
Yes, and it's easier to say it than do it too. Honestly, like when you're in that situation, like it has you questioning too. You just have to be strong in your faith.
Yeah, I would imagine he's probably pretty scared in this situation. Again, like you said, he's kind of by himself. He's surrounded by a bunch of people, but they're not with them. You know, they're against him. So you're scared. And I think in that time, he found it easier to lie and try to fit in with the crowd. And when you have all these people that are kind of pressuring against you and saying, no, you're not like us. We can tell by your accent, you know. And even one of the girls, I think, said, we saw you with him, you know, knowing that they have been around him. But yet again, he chose to stick with the crowd and find it easier because he was afraid to just lie and say, I don't know this man. I don't know what you're talking about. I couldn't imagine being in that time and, you know, thinking back, because at the very end, the last part of the verse, it reads that when he realized what he'd done, when he realizes, and Jesus' words flash before him saying that the rooster would crow, and for that to happen, for that to all of a sudden hit you and just be like, man.
Yeah, and you know, it talks about he went outside and wept bitterly. Like,
yes.
I think about, you know, you feel that weight of that shame sometimes when it comes to when you're convicted of something and you feel the impact of how you've wronged God, and you kind of see that with Peter there, what he's going through with that. So.
How often do you think that, have you guys ever had a situation like this? And it doesn't have to be necessarily something just like this, obviously, but have you ever had something that kind of came up and you realized, man, now afterwards, I realized the wrong that I've done, and I realized maybe I'm being just like Peter. Maybe this situation that's come up afterwards, I'm realizing what happened just now, and boom, it pops in his mind of what Jesus told him was going to happen, and boom, and then it happens to you. How often do you guys think that happens just in our world today, where people look back and they go, "Huh, I realize I made a mistake right here"?
Probably every day, honestly.
Yes, multiple times, I'm sure, because, like, we just go through those struggles, and it's like we're human and we shouldn't, but we choose the worst option, and it really hits you too, especially if you're like, if you know the Lord and you know what he asks of us, and it just hits you, you're just like, I guess, down and out and guilty for all that he's done for you, for you to just betray him or, like, choose the wrong path like that.
Yeah. We talk about this a lot, having not having a Sunday morning faith, which you guys know what that means.
Yes.
So we've talked about this a good bit. You know, we come to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and we declare our love for Jesus. We say that we love him and that we're committed to that. And I think most of us are. We come here on Sundays and again on Wednesdays most of the time, and we do that. And like you guys, y'all have that accountability with one another where you guys are able to kind of keep each other up and build up and everything. But a lot of times we wonder, it's like, all right, well, what does your Monday look like?
Yeah.
What does your Friday look like? What do all the days in between that start to look like? Are we like Peter in those times? Are we following the crowd? Are we living the way the crowd is on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Or are we living out for Jesus in that time when we're with other people? You know, that I think is where it starts to become a little tougher too.
And usually, like, if you're like reading your Bible every day, praying and stuff. And I know for me, honestly, if I go, because I read my Bible in the morning time. If I go throughout my day and I haven't read my Bible, I can start to notice it in my actions, and I'm like, yeah, I should have picked up that verse this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I had actually picked up earlier that we were, why do I always forget who the preacher is? Harris.
Yes.
What's his first name?
Richard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there in church watching, listening to him, and I'm still like, what's the guy's name? I'm bad about names, though. But anyways.
But he was new, though, so you...
He's been here a time or two.
Oh, he has? Well, yeah, but, like, he's not...
Oh, yeah. Not like every week. Yeah, I got you on that. So, this was one of the things that he brought up that I was thinking about, though. When everybody else is telling you one thing, who are you listening to? Are you listening to your heart? And what did he talk about with our hearts this morning? What are we supposed to do?
Guard it.
Supposed to guard your heart, right? Instead of listening to what everybody else in the world is saying or what they're believing. Here's a tough one, though. You ever get the feeling it's like, man, I want to pray for my food, something as simple as this at school before lunch. Like, I want to pray about this. But you ever look around and you go, what is everybody else going to think?
Yeah.
I remember, like, my friend at school, she used to do it, like, every day. But when we entered 10th grade, she stopped completely because the people around us would, like, start laughing. And I don't know why, because all she was doing was praying over her food. And I guess after that day, she just stopped. And I told her, you should keep doing that because I usually pray with her. But she said, nah, I don't want to. And I don't know why, because she's praying over something that's going to fuel her. But people around us are laughing, and it's not funny.
It's very difficult because this is where that pressure starts to get to people, and they start to do like Peter did. They start to, let me just go with the world. Let me go with this crowd that's around me. Let me fit in with them instead of fitting in with what I believe, what I've trusted my life in, and not being ashamed, not being afraid of what anybody else thinks. And it's a hard thing to do in this world today. And we're going to kind of continue through, and hopefully at the end of this, we'll kind of have some guidance and some ways that we can help that. But when the pressure starts to rise, do we act like that? Do we act like we don't even know who he is? In this time that you've seen her, this entire time that she's been praying, and Peter beforehand, he had been following Jesus right there alongside the disciples all together, and then all of a sudden it's like he never even knew how to just take it, something in somebody that you knew so personally, and all of a sudden sweep it under the rug as if it no longer exists. What do our actions say about our hearts is another part of this. And in Galatians 1:10, it says, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be a servant of Christ. Because if I'm trying to follow what people want, then I'm praising people. I'm not praising God. I'm not praising what it is that Jesus did in my life and what Jesus did for all of us. I'm all of a sudden more worried about what people are thinking instead of what it is that my God thinks.
Yeah. And I think, like, another reason why I'm, like, so, I've grown so much since I've came to know Christ is just, like, that verse, just, like, remembering, like, who am I really serving? Like, when I die, who am I going to answer to? These people that I'm trying to please or God? And it's always going to be God. And no matter how you feel in the moment, like, praying at the lunch table, you're never going to be like, dang, I wish I never prayed at the lunch table. I wish I never prayed over my food, because in the end, people are always watching you. So you could have just been praying, and it could have been somebody who you never even noticed was just watching you, and they may be trying to grow their faith, and they may come up to you and ask you about that. That's just another way you can testify your faith to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I get that too, but in the sense of, like, my path to Christ, I've grown, but I've also regressed because I try to introduce my friends to like scriptures and coming to Bible study, but every time I get shut down, and I guess I shut myself down too because I never open up about Christ to my friends because I don't want to be like outcast of the friend group.
That's tough.
It's very hard. And one of the things that I want to kind of encourage you for, God never said that it would be easy. There will be a lot of hardship through it, but it'll be worth it. And through it, God will always be along the ride with us through all of it. And it's hard to see that sometimes because a lot of times, and I try to make sure that we say this as well, I don't want it to all just seem like roses and everything's going to be perfect throughout your life and it's going to be easy and people are going to want to do this. It is unreal how many people aren't responsive, don't listen, and don't care to know. It's a scary thing to know too. But I would also encourage you just keep on fighting the fight and believing and understanding and standing up for your faith and knowing, hey, I know who Jesus is, and I love him, and I know what he has for my life. And I think Paul even talked about this in Acts where he said, you know, I'm trying to preach to the Jews right now. They're not listening. Well, that's on y'all. I'm going to move on and try to preach to others as well. And if they get it, they get it. And it's kind of part of it, unfortunately.
And another thing I would like to say is like the amount of people that will tell you they're Christian, but their actions don't follow up with it is insane. Like, there have been so many times I've invited people from my school to come, and they're like, I'm a Christian, you know, I would never do that. But I'm like, well, come on, let's come to you. Yeah. Let's go to church. And they're like, no, I think I'm going to skip out on that. Like, the only two who have really, like, showed up from school are Jamal and Kayla, and shout out to them because, like, they really followed up, and Jamal has came back multiple times.
Shout out to Jamal.
Yes.
He's coming on soon.
Yes. And
Is he really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he signed up a couple weeks ago when we saw him. He signed up. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're okay. But like just continuing on with your faith even when it's hard, because it is like each time that, like, even with doing food distribution, sometimes like grown adults will like come and maybe they're coming for the food and they are coming for the food obviously, but we have to like we have to share the gospel with them first before they get the food, and sometimes it'll be like in a rushing manner. But, you know, knowing that you planted that seed, that's what I was going to say. In church today, the pastor was talking about you can't force you can't teach anybody into heaven, or, like, you can't, like, decide where they go to, but you can only plant that seed. So
Yes, and I was thinking, too, like, about planting the seed, like, and just by telling them about Jesus and Christ and God, you can plant that seed, but sometimes you won't see it grow until later.
Yeah.
But also know that you planted that seed too, and that you're doing the Lord's work. So it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah.
And it really does like not to see the progress like instantly, but just know you're doing the right thing.
And like I know no one wants
no,
to
you're
say
good,
but like inviting, I maybe have invited like 10 people from school, but knowing that Jamal has came back multiple times really overjoys not seeing those other 8 or 9 people come back, because like once you see that seed starts to grow, it really like fills you up and like makes you feel good, because like you know that you're doing what God has told you to do.
This is one thing, and I'm gonna jump to you real quick. That's one thing that I've tried to say on here, and again, more encouragement hopefully to you, Kaliyah, is we're not doing this for a million people to watch and to listen. If that happens, all glory be to God, and we talk about that every week too, that's for him. It's not for us. It's not for us to please one another or to just enjoy being able to hang. We enjoy getting to hang out with you guys, obviously, but all it takes is one person. And like she said, the joy that you get just from one person showing up, even though you might have invited 15 people, surpasses all of the disheartening of somebody not showing up. So even though maybe nobody's responded to that yet, again, just know that if you're doing the Lord's work, you're doing all you can do. Know what you got over there.
No, I was just going to say just a little bit of encouragement just with the whole peer pressure topic. You know, sometimes I think when we begin to realize that our peers are having a negative impact on us, it may be the Holy Spirit working on us in some type of way to let us know, you know, that maybe we don't need to be hanging around with them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always talk about the scripture in John with the vine and the branches, where we see, you know, God's pruning away some of those branches and throwing them into the fire or whatnot. But I always have kind of looked at that as like in your life, sometimes he prunes away those things that are not good for you. And I've had times in my life where I've had friends that I've grown apart from, and I look back and I say, that might have been for the better.
Yeah.
You know, it might, there's a reason that they're, you know, I might not see those people as much anymore. And it can potentially be because God was just kind of pruning that out of my life.
Yeah.
And so just, you know, it might, and that's never fun. You know, it's never fun to potentially be the, you know, not fitting in, potentially be the person that's not hanging out with the coolest kids at school or not hanging out with the coolest people. But in the long run, you will bear more fruit from it. You know, so.
And it's hard. It's not always easy when you have friends that are like that you see, okay, maybe it's time that I kind of not set them aside, so to speak, but these are clearly not the people that I need to be hanging out with, or maybe I need to find another group, or maybe continue with some of these because you can see, hey, they are interested in this, but they're just not quite there yet. And some of that takes encouraging them on that. And kind of ending off here of Peter's story. In the end, Peter did finally eventually start making the right choices. He became bold in his faith, as we talked about this morning in church as well. And he started, instead of following the crowd, he started going down his own path. And eventually he was also crucified for the same thing, for believing in Jesus, following him, and preaching his word. But I do like how in the end, like, he felt so unworthy to be crucified in the same way Jesus was. There are a lot of scholars that believe he was actually crucified upside down because he didn't want that. And I don't think it says it anywhere in the Bible, so I'm not going to say that that's perfectly exactly what happened, but I know that's a lot of some of the stuff that we've heard. But how can we kind of get to this place? Here's a couple of things that we can do. First of all, that we talked about, I told you guys this was going to tie to it, is finding that accountability. Find that person who will be there along the white ride for you. When you want to pray for your lunch, finding that person who will sit there and pray with you. Finding that person who doesn't look at you and laugh in that way, because a lot of times the world is going to tell us differently. They're going to tell us, oh, you don't need this, or you don't have to have that person, or maybe what you're thinking is not right actually is right, which is, again, it's hard. Never said it was going to be easy, but it's worth it in the end. And then letting go of the past. This is kind of a tough one, I think, because it's easy to convince ourselves that we already messed up last week, so I can just keep on messing up this week, right? That's where that accountability partner comes in, where they kind of help encourage you through that. And just because we messed up in the past doesn't mean we have to in the future, because, again, we look back at Peter's story, and in the past he did mess up, but he realized that, but he didn't do that in the future. He changed his ways and changed his life there moving forward. And then the last one, grow with God. This is a great analogy that I saw. If you ate dinner last night, or tonight, let's say, you eat dinner tonight, you don't eat it again until next Sunday, you're going to be starving, aren't you?
Yes.
So why do we do that with God? Why do we eat supper tonight and then we don't ever pick the fork back up for another week until it comes? How are you ever going to grow with God? How are you ever going to grow upstairs if you're only eating once a week? Does that kind of make sense to you guys there?
Yes, it does.
And that was an analogy that I heard, and I was like, that's pretty good. We might have to use that one there. So coming to youth on Wednesdays and Sundays is great. It's a great start and a way to kind of work on our accountability with our friends and our relationships with others as well, but also building that relationship with Jesus as time goes. Spending times growing upstairs with God, which is what we're doing here today. God wants to hear from you, so ask him and talk to him in this time as well, and stand firm in your faith. When that pressure arises, stand firm in your faith and know, hey, it's not easy, but it's worth it in the end. So wrapping it up, those are the three ways that we can fight against peer pressure: finding that accountability, moving on from the past, and making time and different choices for today, but making time for Jesus also and growing that relationship, following him and making the decisions that are best for him.
Nice.
Anybody else got anything on it before we wrap it up right here?
Good. I think you said it all.
Yeah,
right
that was
there.
good.
That was really good.
So are you saying we are done raising the meter?
I guess.
Maybe.
All right.
We fixing to raise the. We fixing to raise the. Meter. Meter. We fixing to raise the meter.
I love getting funny little quirks and stuff in there. So that is raising the meter this week as we wrap things up. Hey, thank you guys for coming on the show again this week.
Thank you for inviting
No
us.
problem.
I appreciate you guys coming in and joining in. Noah, you got anything else for
It's been a
them?
blast.
It has been
Thank y'all for joining us.
It's been a blast. Listen, I stopped myself because I was about to say one of them thoughts in my head and let it come out. But I was like, I'm going to take 5 minutes just to talk about this. And I'm just not going to do that. So anyways, again, thank you guys for coming on the show. Very appreciative of you guys
What did
wanting
we
to
say
join in
before we
with us.
started recording? They look like the Valentine's Day crew over
Oh,
here.
yeah. Red.
Even though it's
Purple and white. and
June
ding, ding,
now,
ding.
we're still celebrating Valentine's Day.
Oh, my goodness, it is June.
That's crazy.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, but
Yes,
thank
it
y'all for
does.
joining us. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Yes, it has.
Noah, can you tell everybody where can they find us?
Don't forget they can still check us out. This one will be on YouTube, so that's going to be exciting. Continue to watch us there on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Send us a fun story that we can read and talk about. We would like to do that. Also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GrowingUpstairs. All the podcast places, iTunes, and all of that jazz.
I think that might be all the things, finally.
Is that all the things?
Might be. I do have a dad joke for you guys. You guys want to hear a dad joke?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
You guys look forward to dad jokes?
I do. From you, because they're
Yes.
funny.
Well, I sure do appreciate that. Noah, you want to hear a dad joke?
Your dad jokes make me say, dang.
If you were wondering what my hat said. But anyways, all right, so here we go. I'm sad, you guys. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. I'm a little bit sad.
Why so sad?
Well, I heard Steve Harvey and his wife arguing the other day. You could say it was a family feud.
Good answer. Good answer.
Anyways, hey, thank you guys again for coming on the show. Again,
Very welcome.
wave to the people as we head out the door. So glad to have you guys here and look forward to the next time. Noah,
Yes, I'm excited.
Holden.
my music cut off. The outro went too long. Let's do it again. There it goes.
I got a
Anyways,
feeling I know what you were going to say.
what was I going to say?
Should we keep growing upstairs?
I think we should, y'all.
That's right, everybody. Keep growing upstairs.
Upstairs.
Peace.